Dealing with problems is part of the job for every manager and supervisor, and problems always seem to pop up. Today we are going to consider how to face problems without obsessing over them. As a manager, you face problems every day. Learning how to deal with those problems without being overwhelmed by them can be a big challenge, especially if you are a new manager. But let's be honest, even some of us more experienced managers can tend to get overwhelmed by every problem that comes our way. We think about them constantly. We lose sleep over them. We allow them to influence our moods. Sometimes we go so far as to obsess over problems before they ever arrive, tying ourselves in knots, worrying about problems that may or may not ever materialize. That approach doesn't really serve us well. But neither does burying our heads in the sand and ignoring the problems, just hoping they'll go away. And as time passes without giving attention to them, they may even get worse. So is there a middle ground? A way to think about and process problems that doesn't leave us ignoring them or spinning out over them? As with most of the things we talk about on this channel, the key is our mindset. The way we view and think about problems is the first step toward developing a productive approach to managing difficulties. And it really boils down to this: are we problem obsessed or solution focused? Our language reveals a lot about our mindset. So think about your language when you're confronted with a problem. Are you fixating on the problem? Looking for someone or something to blame? Do you default to complaining, criticizing, reciting all of the reasons something won't work, telling everybody how bad or impossible the situation is, or the customer is, or the employee is, or the problem is? Or is your language focused on solutions? Are your conversations focused on generating ideas, finding ways to make it work, being positive and optimistic about the challenge, bringing creative energy, thinking out of the box, and taking proactive action? Many of us have been so beaten down by stress and an endless barrage of problems that we have become problem obsessed. So how do we shift that mindset? Let me offer a few suggestions. 1, stop fixating on the obstacles. I think we all agree that it's important to identify problems, and we can't really solve them if we don't understand them. So talking about them is helpful. What is not helpful, however, is fixating on them, wallowing in them, constantly complaining about them, whining about them, and blaming them for your failures. At some point, we have to get over it and move to solutions. To break this habit, try giving yourself or your team a time limit for dissecting the problem. Then, when the time is up, frame the problem as an opportunity and focus on what are we going to do about it. Number 2, it's important to stay open-minded. When faced with a problem, I sometimes immediately respond negatively. The words, "we can't do that," or "that won't work," are quick to come out of my mouth. Or I zero in on the flaws of the idea before I even give it a chance. When I do that, I may be missing opportunities and shutting down other ideas in the room. A flawed, incomplete, or off-the-wall idea can lead to one that actually works. But when we close our minds and shut the door immediately, we never get to that point. And sometimes what appears at first blush to be a bad idea turns out to be a good solution. So stay open-minded. Number 3, focus on facts. This is really important, and it's really hard to do. When we obsess over a problem, it's easy for us to make a lot of assumptions or miss details because we're caught up in our emotions. We assume we understand the problem or that we know the answer, but we never really took the time to gather the facts. This could lead us to misidentifying the issue and wasting countless hours on bad solutions or putting band-aids on symptoms without solving the real problem. So take a deep breath and focus on the facts. Not on your opinions, not on your assumptions, but on the facts. Only when we have the facts can we create true solutions. When problems and challenges arise, your team will feed off your energy. If you are overwhelmed and panicked, they will be too. So it's important for us to be intentional about our mindset when it comes to the problems we face in our businesses. You can't avoid them, so discipline yourself to stop fixating on them. Stay open-minded as you search for solutions, and focus on the facts so that you make sure you are bringing your best thinking to address the real challenge. Thank you for partnering with us as you find your lead. If this was helpful, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more leadership content.